Hey, what's going on, guys? We got a special guest here. We got Eliot Andrew Marshall. He's a martial artist, business owner, podcaster, and author. He was the first American to win the BJJ Pan Am Championship at blue, purple, and brown belt. What that stands for is Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. After transitioning to MMA, Eliot fought on The Ultimate Fighter, earned a UFC contract, and fought for 4 more years. Upon retirement, he has become a co-owner of the Easton Training Center, one of Colorado's leading martial arts schools with 7 locations across the Denver area. And through his podcast, The Gospel of Fire, Eliot will help you realize that you have the power to do and be whatever you want. Eliot, welcome.
What up, homie? How are you?
Good. How is everything? What's happening?
I'm good, man. We were just talking before. I get a little decompressed time, but not really. I have to catch up on all the work that I didn't do over the last 2 weeks.
Absolutely. So dive into that. What was going on the last 2 weeks? What's been happening?
So I'm the coach of a couple of high-level athletes that fight in the UFC, and you go like when it's a week. It's fight week. In Vegas, you're actually locked away, quarantined. So you're quarantined in the hotel, and like we were just talking, it's hard to do anything else because you have this really big looming thing over everyone's head, first of all, and second of all, the fighter might need you. And if the fighter needs you, you got to go. So if you and I, for example, would have scheduled this podcast, then it would have been really shitty, but I'd be like this the whole time, like wondering, like I wouldn't be giving my full attention. So it's hard to give your full attention to anything else other than fight week. Fight week is generally very boring. You sit around in a hotel and hang out. But there's always a possibility.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad we finally got you on.
Yeah, we got to. Yeah.
So for you, what really got you into fighting, MMA, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, UFC, all of it? Like where did it start?
Okay, so it started for me in 1986. I kicked a lamp in my house because I saw the Karate Kid, and then my parents put me in karate. So that's where it started. And then I did karate my whole life. I learned some Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, got into Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and then competed and won in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and moved on to the UFC. And this is the very, very short cliff notes of the story, but that's how it went. Karate Kid to UFC fighter.
I love it. And you get on and when you're doing all of this, was this always like the main thing in your head? Like, I'm going to be a UFC fighter? Or is it like, what's going through your head as you're going to these different events?
Let's go deeper. Okay. We'll go deeper here. I was born in 1980. My dad's Black. My mom's Jewish, and she's the child of Holocaust survivors. So, father who grew up doing civil rights, grandparents who I spent 3-4 days a week with, concentration camps, life not safe. That's my narrative, right? Yeah. My parents protected me from life not safe for a very long time. We moved to a new neighborhood. We show up in the neighborhood. We're building a house there. Our house is spray painted with swastikas, and Nigers go home and craziness. And then, so that became my life. My parents can't protect me anymore. Like I was getting to see how unsafe the world was. I had no friends. I didn't fit in anywhere. I wasn't like, it was rough. I had 2 friends, I should say. One lived towns and towns away, and the other one was my neighbor, but he went to a different school. So school, very difficult for me. All of the things that you normally like about school, lunch, recess, walking through the halls, I hated about school because I was alone. Like when we got to the classroom, somebody had to sit next to me. It was forced.
Yeah.
Outside of the class, nobody had to talk to me, be nice to me, or anything. So fast forward, this is my experience through through junior year. Summer of my senior year, in between junior and senior year, I start to learn a little Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I go back to school. I talk about it a little bit. Some of the state champ wrestlers go, because I came from a very big wrestling school. They're like, man, we'll beat your ass. And I was like, okay, let's do it. Let's see.
And just for those who don't know, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, how does that differ from wrestling? Just to give
It's the same exact thing almost, like if you're going to just look at it, except the goal of wrestling is to pin the person's back to the mat. And the goal of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is to make the person give up, tap with a stranglehold, right? With a choke or a joint manipulation.
Okay.
Okay. So you will fight off your back, but we knew when we went in that we were going to wrestle and someone was going to give up.
Yeah.
Right.
Someone's going to win.
So someone's going to win, not just pinning me. Like it wasn't about pinning me. Because obviously they could do that. I don't know how to fucking wrestle.
Yeah.
But they're the ones who tapped. They're the ones who had to give up. Right. So I start now, and these guys were cool. These were popular. They were state champs. So now Elliot got a little, I lost a little baby fat. Like I bloomed. I was a late bloomer. I think so after that, maybe a girl kissed me for the first time, and that changes your life, right? And man, I started to get some popularity. Not a lot, but I started to have some friends.
Yeah.
So then I associate fighting with acceptance. People will accept me. Look, that's not good.
Yeah. I was going to say that could be a little dangerous.
Yeah. It ended up being very dangerous for me. Right. Because as I move through my career and as I fight more skillfully and as I get better and I get more and more acceptance, I have it all over here. I'm not just fighting to go try to win. I'm fighting for like my placeholder in the world. Like my whole identity is wrapped up in it. And it crumbles.
Yeah.
You don't see a championship belt behind me, right?
No, I don't.
No. It's because I don't have one. I'm not a world champion.
Yeah.
Right. So obviously it crumbled. I did not achieve the goal. And then my fight career ends in 2011.
Yeah.
I go into business right away,
Yeah. How was that transition for you?
Man, it was really easy for me because I was teaching. I've been teaching martial arts ever since I was 13. So, and I was teaching for my then instructor, who's now my business partner, So I retired from fighting on a Saturday was my last fight. And that next Tuesday, I looked at the building to purchase where the Denver school currently is. So I had a very quick transition. There was no downtime for me. Makes sense? Which is super lucky. Like I was ridiculous. Like my life is nothing but a massive amount of luck. So, so I made that happen. Businesses are going well, but I never addressed this demon, this Elliot's not safe demon, this anxiety. Like I suffer from anxiety. It creeps, at that point it would creep up every couple of years, I don't know, maybe twice a year sometimes, but then it would dissipate. 2016 comes, look, nothing wrong. Like nothing bad. Like my life was good. And I have a 9-month episode, what I like to call a mental breakdown / spiritual awakening of massive, acute, intense anxiety.
Really?
And then I have to get myself through it. And when I say get myself through it, my friends had to hold me up, my friends and my, my crew had to hold me up while I wove my way through the world and figured out some very important stuff.
And what was it stemmed from?
Oh, from the fact that I'm not safe.
From the whole fighting?
No, from the whole growing up with a dad who survived civil rights, broke as fuck, lived in a 1-bedroom house with 6 people, didn't have hot water. You know, like that's my dad's experience. Never went trick-or-treating because it wasn't safe.
Yeah.
And from, my grandparents' experience with the Holocaust.
Yeah.
You're not safe.
Well, no. I definitely understand. I'm actually Jewish.
Okay.
And so you hear about the Holocaust stories and it's just terrifying. And that's why
I lived them.
Yeah.
Like you could not meet my grandparents without being like, yo, what the fuck happened to these people?
Yeah.
Right? Like the second you meet them, you're like, what the fuck happened to these people? You walk in their house and it's like, what happened here?
Yeah.
And, there's food in the basement. It's 1995. There's food in the basement from 1975. There's,
just terrifying. Yeah.
Just terrified. fucking terrified. My grandmother never slept again.
Yeah.
You know,
because that conditioning, it's just mentally, it's horrible for you. In which case, you're never to overcome that is a completely another monster, and no one's taught how to do that really.
I don't know if you can.
Yeah.
You know, like we didn't need for anything when I was a kid. They didn't need for anything. They were by no means poor. But in South Jersey, there's farms, you know, and there's a big farm right behind, like through the woods of their house. And my grandmother used to have me and my uncle sometimes walk through the woods at night and then go crawl into the farm and steal cucumbers, 10 cucumbers. How much does cucumbers cost?
Nothing.
Right? Nothing. And,
yeah.
But why?
Just for you to feel
she might need them.
Really?
What if we run out of food?
Oh, wow.
What if we run out of food? I threw stale bread out once. Stale fucking bread. And my grandfather goes and gets it and he goes, "You've never been hungry."
Oh my God. So what do you think the biggest lesson you learned from them? Obviously, you can't take a day for granted.
The lesson I learned from them, how to survive.
Yeah.
How to have the mental fortitude to survive.
Yeah.
Because that's all it is. It's mental fortitude, right?
Yeah.
You have to be able to grit your teeth and make it fucking happen for yourself.
Yeah.
And so they live through the biggest case of unfair ever.
Absolutely.
Right?
It's not even close. Like, it's literally not even close.
It's right. And the thing is, you know, fast forward to today, look, life still isn't fair for a lot of people.
Yeah.
You know, like, you know,
I mean, we see it happen every
day.
Past year has been a prime example of
right.
Every group that felt like it was unfair, it got brought up.
Now,
and in circumstances, it got brought up. Yeah.
Now, look, we need to do everything we can in our power as those who have made it out. Like, for example, I've made it out of that.
Yeah.
Right? I need to do everything I can to try to equalize out opportunities, not outcomes. Equalize out opportunities for people so that they have the most fair shot as possible. However, when I'm speaking to the underprivileged, if there's an underprivileged person sitting right in front of me, I will tell them, yes, you are correct that it is not fair. However, it is on you to get yourself out of this shit. It is on you. And I'll tell you what the most amazing news is. You can fucking do it. You actually have the power to do it. You just have to want it. You know, and if you want out, you can get out. It's possible. It's possible.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, honestly, any opportunity, especially in America too.
I don't care where you are. It's fucking possible. Yeah. Right? If you believe that it's possible, then it's possible. If you believe that it's impossible, then you're right. You know, whatever line of the fence that you fall on here, you know, of believing or not believing, you're correct.
Absolutely.
You know, you're correct.
And where did that come from for you? Where you had the ability to basically saying that you control your own destiny?
It came through my breakdown. I got to realize my power. I got to realize my own ability to overcome. You know, I got to get really in touch with something that I think is very, very important, which is, who are you? Who am I? You know, who am I? What is why am I here on this earth? Like what is, I like to call them the 3 Ps. I always knew what my passion was. My passion's martial arts, but what's my power? And then what's my purpose? Like, what are these things that I can't be here for me. I can't be here for money. I can't be here for material things. Like, why do I exist? And those are really important questions that I had to answer.
And what'd you find out?
I know exactly who I am. You know, I know exactly who I am. First, look, my process is simple. My process that I do it with is these 2 quotes on my back wall here. I'll read them to you in a sec. The first one's Martin Luther King, and the second one's Teddy Roosevelt. It starts with Martin Luther King. Darkness cannot drive out darkness. Only light can do that. And hate cannot drive out hate. Only love can do that. You must love yourself. We must love ourselves first and foremost. It's the most important thing. You're the most important person that you need to love. Once you love yourself, in order to love yourself, you have to know who you are.
Yeah.
Right? You can't love something that you don't know what it is or who it is. So I'm a father. Inside father is husband. It's kind of wrapped together. I'm a teacher. I'm a student. I'm a fighter. I'm a survivor. That's who I am.
Yeah.
Those things are always true.
Yeah.
Can't falsify them. So if I go out and I do something really skillful, let's say I start a business and I make $10 million, does it change any of my I ams? No. Let's say I start a business, I invest $50,000 in this said business again, and it falls flat on its face and it doesn't work at all. Does it change any of my I ams?
No.
Okay. So therefore events don't change who I am, good or bad.
Yeah.
So then I can do the second.
Well, basically I think that's amazing because you don't tie your identity to I have more money or I have less money or I got to go on this trip or I didn't go on this trip or it doesn't matter.
I was successful or unsuccessful at something. I can just look at events now as information. I can just be like, okay, look, this part I did well and this part I didn't do well, and boom, boom, boom. And I can just take information and go, okay, more of this, less of that, but right. You just start computing, right? You just start realizing, because I know who I am and I work on it every day. I wake up and I deal with who is Elliot every morning. It's the first thing I do. I wake up, get out of bed, take a shit and lay down and start doing my, start figuring out me, and these things. So if events don't touch me, then I can do the second quote, which is Teddy Roosevelt, the man in the arena. It's not the critic who counts. It's not the not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the man who's actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood, who strives valiantly, who errs, who comes up short again and again, who spends himself in a worthy cause. Super important right there, worthy cause. Who at best knows in the end the triumph of high achievement, and who at worst, if he fails, at least he fails while daring greatly, and so that his place shall never be with those cold and timid souls who know neither victory nor defeat. Let's go enter the arena, my friend. Let's go enter the arena and let's keep trying. Okay. But what do you have to keep trying at? You have to keep trying at a worthy cause. So what's the worthy cause? What's the worthy cause that you are chasing? What's the worthy cause that your life is about? What is your purpose?
Yeah.
But you can't find that by sitting on the sidelines. You need the arena.
Absolutely. And I think that relates to lots of risk. So there's a lot of people that don't want to take risks. Like I saw that you got a mathematics degree in college and then you still proceeded to go and you could have got a job, but you went and fight. You went and did the fighting instead.
It wasn't my passion.
Yeah.
When you're young, you follow your passion.
Yeah. Which I absolutely love. And nowadays it's never been easier. Like we have this technology, like you're in Denver, I'm in Tampa. Like we're able to talk to each other.
Yeah. What's your passion? You can sell it to the world.
Yeah.
Sell it, give it away.
Yeah.
Like, that's for me, the third one, purpose. You give your purpose.
Yeah.
Just go give it to people and see what happens. Watch what fucking happens to your life. I can't even promise you it will bring you a ton of money, but god damn, it will bring you some, and your cup will be so filled, right? The people you meet will be so interesting. The conversations you have will be so worth it. Instead, what are we doing? We're doing some of the opposite stuff. We're not entering arenas right now, especially from my perspective. Men, we're being a bunch of fucking cowards.
What do you mean?
We're playing it safe.
In what regard?
Well, first of all, with our feelings.
Yeah.
We don't know who we're afraid of our feelings. We're afraid of how we feel. We're afraid to talk about them. We're afraid to talk about where we're weak, where I just approach it from the opposite place. I'll tell you where I'm weak. I have anxiety, Jordan. Sometimes that keeps me up all night and I cry. I get very scared. I'm very afraid that people will leave me. I'm very afraid that I'm not being enough for people and then I will be alone again. And when I'm alone again, Hitler could come and then I have a problem. So this is where all of my fear stems from. but I'll tell you all of it.
Yeah.
So now you can never use it against me.
Yeah, I love that, because it's so, I mean, as soon as you started saying that, I started thinking about myself and how I act with other people. And I'm always trying to be that helper and like, you can do this and it will be all right. But I never focus on myself being like, man, I just don't like doing this, or like, I'm really struggling with this, or I'm upset about this, or whatever it is, because we're afraid of that judgment.
Right.
And who could judge us? You know what I mean? And what could be? Yeah.
No one's playing with the same deck of cards that I'm playing with. So why am I going to compare myself to them?
Absolutely.
We're not playing the same game. You're playing, you know?
Yeah.
Maybe you got dealt pocket aces. Good for you. And maybe I got dealt 10-7 deuce.
Yeah.
You know? And
no, absolutely. There's no
one's the best
comparison.
starting. Yeah. But it also doesn't determine where you're going to end up.
Yeah.
It's going to be harder for me. Right? And if you have the pocket aces and I have the 7 deuce, it's going to be harder for me.
Yeah.
But if the flop comes 7 deuce 10,
yeah.
I'm a little ahead now. And if you still play it like you're the fucking man and you don't pay attention and make adjustments in the world with your pocket aces, you've got a big fucking problem.
Yeah.
Right? You have a big problem. You could even hit your full house of another 7 hitting the board. So then you're going to have sevens over aces, but I'm going to have sevens over twos, and I'm going to be the winner.
Yeah.
My full house will beat your full house. Because you're not paying attention to what's out on the board.
Yeah.
So, people are, but we have to be aware. We have to be aware of how we're feeling, what's going on in the world, and what is an intention versus impact. I think those two things are a very important topic to talk about. Like, I think intention greatly matters, but the impact matters as well of your behaviors and your words and things like that.
Yeah. Intentions are huge, 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 huge. Because I was sitting there and I was thinking about it, and it's just, anybody who's ever had any goal or any aspiration or wants to accomplish anything, like, you got to have intent. You got to know exactly what direction. Like, you don't leave fighting on Saturday and then start up again on Tuesday without some intent. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you got to understand where
I
you're
always
going.
knew I wanted to own martial arts schools.
You had the intent from even younger.
Yeah, since I was 8 years old.
Yeah, it's incredible.
Yeah. So what's your North Star? That's so like when you talk about intention, right? Like, what are you pointing at?
Yeah. What are you trying to accomplish?
And why? What will you have?
Yeah.
What will you have? What will you have to do? What will you be?
Yeah.
If when you get there.
And who's the person you'll meet, which is the most interesting part.
Yeah. What's the point of this whole thing? Okay, you want a Fortune 500 company? Why?
Yeah.
Tell me why you want a Fortune 500 company. You want to be the CEO of, tell me why.
Yeah.
Money's not enough.
Money's not going to be the motivator. No.
You'll blow that money.
Yeah. You need something much deeper than that.
Mm-hmm.
Really find that purpose and find where you're going.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. So for you, what do you think your true purpose is in regard to life in general and your findings, like from that time with yourself? Because I think it's super important. Like for myself, I started Edwards Consulting, and what we do is we basically meet with people, and it's a lot of that mindset like you're talking about. And it breaks out into mental health, physical health, community, philanthropy, and relationships and spirituality. And I have that because there's so much more to us. There's different levels to us. You know what I mean? We can't just be, I'm in this job and now I'm a VP and I'm supposed to be happy. No, there's more. There's more. If your family's falling apart, it's not great. It's not great.
Right.
So for you, what's the purpose that you found?
My purpose?
Yeah.
Is to help other people realize their power.
Dive into that a little bit.
What's your power? Your power is whatever it's the thing that makes you be amazing in the world. The thing that makes you.
Yeah.
Might not make you a ton of money. I don't know. It might not make you famous. I'm not sure. Now, I do that from a distance. I do that closer, and then I do that super close.
Yeah.
Those are the levels, you know, that we do it, that I do it at. So, you know, most of it is through the martial arts lens. Most of it in my life has been through the martial arts lens. I'm trying to move it now to also include the online lens. I'm super unskillful at it. So, but okay.
As long as we try, that's all we need.
No, it's not all about trying. It's all about becoming more skillful.
Yeah.
Right. Like
so how would you say
a fly flies into a window to get out all the time. It's trying to get out.
Yeah.
It's just not being very skillful. We're smarter than flies.
Yeah.
Right. So can I be more skillful with my actions as I move through this?
Yeah. So how would you say someone becomes more skillful? Obviously,
you pay attention to outcomes.
Yeah.
You don't attach to outcomes. You pay attention to outcomes. When you okay, ready? I made an Instagram post today, right?
Yeah.
So I go on my Instagram. Now, what do? Do I 107 likes it has so far in 2 hours. Is that the no, that's not the outcome that I'm looking for. That's not the gauge. You have to go farther. You have to go into your insights. Okay. Okay. 38 people sent that to somebody else. 11 people saved it. Now we're talking. Now I'm starting to touch someone's life. They're starting to pay attention to what I'm saying. Right. I don't care if they fucking liked it. Okay. I want their attention. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. 7% of the people that have interacted with this post weren't following me. That's very good as well. I like that. You know, we're gaining traction there. You know, 8 people visited my profile.
Yeah.
Because I'm interested in more impact in a human being's life.
Yeah.
So you have to start to look. That's just simple with Instagram. You know,
yeah,
you have to dive into some results that you're getting, and then you have to make adjustments, make shifts, I called my wife a dumb bitch, and I got A. That was right. Like
it's results. It's
right.
Results, right.
You have to look at things and go, okay, you have to look at results and events and then adjust. Just like the card example that I gave, you had aces, I had 7 deuce. If you play your aces like they're always golden, you could be very fucked.
Yeah.
You know, you're not looking at the next event.
Yeah.
But again, the event doesn't have to touch your life.
Yeah.
You'll hold on to those aces like you're golden if winning this poker hand is going to fuck with your life. If it's going to fuck with who you are. If winning the poker hand isn't that big of a deal but you are in the pot, you're going to lose some money, right? You can realize, oh shit, bad and unskillful, let it go. Cut my losses now. And
it's the amount you tie to each outcome. Yeah.
My friend, with the poker example, my friend he was a professional poker player. He goes, Elliot, your profit will always be the amount of times that you don't call when you fold. That's the money. When you save the bet.
Yeah.
Your winning hands are your winning hands, right?
Yeah.
And that's going to be a number, right?
Yeah.
But you're going to dwindle them away by, I'll see the next card.
Yeah.
The amount of times you don't see the next card, when you shouldn't, when the odds, if the odds say you should, then you should.
Yeah.
But when the odds say you shouldn't, when the math says, nope, shouldn't call right now. Right. Same thing with blackjack, right? And people understand blackjack better,
Yeah.
Nobody hits when they have 20.
Yeah.
Right.
No, that makes simple. Yeah. That makes a lot more sense. Yeah.
If you hit on 20, you're going to be a loser.
Like 99% of the time.
More than that.
Yeah. Yeah. That's cool. So let's dive into your gyms, and obviously we just came through a tough part with COVID.
Yeah.
So how was that for you? You got 7 of them in Denver.
Yeah. So I have rules for my life,
Yeah.
Like my values almost, right? Like my core values. You have to do jujitsu. So these are metaphorically and figuratively as well. You have to do jujitsu. You live in my house, you have to do jujitsu. Because you have to learn how to fight. Fighting teaches you skills that mental skills that nothing else can teach. You have to learn how to swim. And this is, I'll go through the rules first and I'll come back to this one because this is what COVID was about. Rule number 3 is you have to look people in the eye, demand respect, give it back. Rule number 4 is if you're scared, you must go do it. Rule number 5, and please don't say, people always go, oh yeah, I'm scared to jump off a bridge. And you're like, yeah, that's danger, you dumbass. That's not scared. Rule number 5 is you make your money work for you. You don't work for your money. And then rule number 6, if my brother goes down, then I go down. We ride or die together.
Yeah.
Let's go back to rule number 2 because you asked about COVID. Swimming. What's the number one thing that you teach when you teach someone how to swim? What you teach them how to do?
Stay afloat.
Stay afloat. Can you stay afloat? When COVID comes, and I have the antithesis of a social distance business.
Yeah.
Could we stay afloat? Could we figure out how to make it work enough so that we stayed afloat?
Yeah.
That's it.
So how was that?
Oh, it's terrible. I haven't mopped that many. I haven't mopped this many mats since I was the cleaner of the school back in 1999.
Yeah.
It was awful, but it was amazing.
Yeah.
Because we honed in on who it is that we are. We got tighter on who it is that we are. We got tighter on our systems. People that didn't want to be there. I had 150 employees, right? If you don't want to be here, then like you got weeded out a little bit, right? Like the team got really, really, really fucking tight, like as tight as could be. So that's what happens in difficult times.
And at that point now, it's just the best are in there. Everyone's dedicated to the mission. No one's slacking.
Good times create weak men. Weak men create hard times. Hard times create strong men. Add women in there. Add women in there as well. Right? Like women as in a figurative.
Yeah.
So, what you got, baby? You threw the worst possible thing you could throw at us. Worse than a recession.
Yeah. Way worse because you can open doors. Yeah. For some point.
Way worse than a recession.
So now you guys made it through. You guys it's in the back burner. Is all of Colorado open?
Yeah, for the most part.
So people are returning.
Yeah. We have almost as many members now. I think we're 20 members short, maybe 40 members short at one of our schools. Some of the schools have more. Some of the schools are way above. Like we opened a school in January the 20th of 2020.
No way. Oh, wow.
So, we had a solid 2 months of being open. A month and a half, right? We had a solid month and a half of being open before they closed us. But that school has 223 members now. So
incredible.
Yeah.
Incredible.
And we're, hard times create strong men, homie.
I like that a lot. I've heard that before, but that was just a prime example and just really shows where we are today and what we can be. And
Can you survive?
Yeah. It's a major token of possibility, which is also really cool.
Yeah. So we survived. That's all it was. It wasn't about making money. It wasn't about, look, I didn't get paid for a year other than I had to go on unemployment because, there was a work share program in Colorado, right? Where everybody on payroll had to be on yada, yada. Right. So, but unemployment was not going to do it for me. Right.
Yeah.
But that's okay. Because you did can you survive? Did you have money in the bank?
Yeah. Were you responsible?
Right? Were you responsible? Or did you, while times were good, as they have been for the martial arts industry since 2004, while times were good, did you fucking party like a rock star?
Yeah. I mean, that's the prime example of, I forget what Warren Buffett exactly said, but he's like, during good times, everyone looks good. But when the ocean holds back, you see who's wearing their swimsuits.
Right. So look, when COVID hit, I looked at my bank account, called my business partner, asked him what his bank account said. I was like, all right, that's how long we have.
Yeah. And we'll do what we can do.
Yeah.
Wow.
Everyone. So, it was really cool, including like unemployment and all that stuff. None of my staff made less money. The only people who made less money in 2020 were me and my business partner.
Wow.
Which is the way it's supposed to be, though.
Absolutely.
Leaders eat last, man.
Yeah.
Leaders eat last.
You got to make sure you take care of the people. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. And
now, without them.
Right. And now we're rolling.
Yeah.
Doing our thing.
That's incredible. So what do you have coming up? What's going down the line? I know you had
shit, man. I don't know. I got all this catch up to do. I got to work on my 2 online businesses. I have my personal one and my one for we started one for other martial arts schools. Where we consult with other martial arts schools. So I have some catch up. Work there. I have my fighters that I love and adore. Excuse me. And just wake up, meditate, have some gratitude, realize who I am, say the 4 agreements, chase after it, go to bed, chase after it, get back down on my knees, say thank you to the universe, tell all the people in the world that I love them, that love me, for all my skillful and unskillful actions, rinse and repeat the next day.
I love it. I love it. And when did you implement the 4 agreements? Are you talking about from the book?
From the book.
Oh yeah, I just read it with we have a morning group and we read the 4 agreements. Unreal.
Tell me where you go wrong. The only one I change a little bit is I don't like to say do my best because I don't like the word best. Best, I like the word skillful and unskillful. So I always look for the most. So for everyone that's listening, be impeccable with your word. Take nothing personally. Make no assumptions. And these are the 2 fucking things that the world is doing so unskillfully right now is we're taking everything as personally as possible. And we're making all of these assumptions about other people. And then the 4th agreement is always look for the most skillful action.
Yeah.
So there we go. I do that. I say my I ams, get up, get the fuck after it.
Elliot, I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
Where can the people find you?
Fire Marshall 205 on Instagram. That is where, if you want to speak with me, that's the only place that you have 100% possibility of me responding. Everywhere else, Twitter, Facebook, all of that stuff is much, much smaller. So Fire Marshall 205 on Instagram is where you can find me. My website is eliotmarshall.com. I have a podcast, The Gospel of Fire, where I like to tell other people's stories about how they found their power. I have a book about my struggle called The Gospel of Fire as well. It's on Amazon and it's on Audible. So wherever you have your consuming preferences.
I love it.
Yeah, man.
I love it.
But I'm not here to sell anything. I'm not here to sell anything. Yeah. Like I hate when people have that like agenda of like, oh, they're coming on to like my goal is to have a skillful conversation with you. And hopefully if we could touch one person's life today with the conversation, then fuck yeah.
I love it. Elliot, you're the man. Appreciate you coming on.
Yeah. Hell yeah, man. Thank you.